Again, this showed that 850 nanometers, which is in the near infrared spectrum, can go and penetrate quite deeply into the body and even come out the other side. For this reason, they looked at this and they said, it looks as though for a human being, 850 nanometers, which is not visible light, it's in the infrared spectrum, but 850 nanometers is exactly the type of wavelength that seems to penetrate best through the human body. And you can see here, they looked at not only the absolute amount of energy that could go through in terms of transmittance, but also the relative amount. You can see the relative amount, we're talking 0.004%. A very, very small amount gets through. The majority of the light that hits the human body gets inside, bounces around, and gets absorbed. This type of a result is exactly what we would have predicted to see. We would estimate that a very small amount of light can get through the human body, and that type of infrared light is going to be absorbed by many different absorbers, but specifically what we believe is proteins and electron transport chains in the mitochondria. The next thing they did, because they found that 850 seemed to work the best, is they got a panel of LED lights that transmitted at 850 nanometers. And in this case, it was about half the strength at about 50 centimeters away from the subject. And again, they're going through the thorax, but about half the power that they did with the sun. They had a box with a detector at the other end, and there was such a small amount that came through that they were not able to measure the amount that came through in that situation. I leave this up here just to show you what it was for the thorax and what daylight transmission was. We weren't able to do the same for the 850 nanometer panel. However, they were able to show how much of a small amount it was. And you can see here the absolute value of what came through, and you can see here many more zeros after the decimal, and the percent. It was actually a very small amount of transmittance that was coming through. But it was detectable. And again, this showed that 850 nanometers, which is in the near infrared spectrum, can go and penetrate quite deeply into the body and even come out the other side.